So let's talk about Evil Dead Part 2 as part of my Evil Dead series of reviews leading up to Evil Dead Rise. We only got two more of these movies left, and then, of course, we're reviewing the seasons of the show. And I really, really enjoyed Evil Dead Part 2. And this is obviously the fan favorite, so of course I enjoyed it. This is not my favorite, at least from memory, because, sometimes when I say, oh, certain ones were my favorite, when I actually go and rewatch these movies for reviews and look at them critically, it kind of changes my opinion sometimes a little bit, but I'm pretty dead sure that Army of Darkness will still be my favorite. This is a great movie. It does have one caveat to this movie, and I don't know the full story. If someone wants to inform me in the comments, but basically, from what I understand, they remade parts of Evil Dead Part One in this movie because, they didn't couldn't get the rights to Evil Dead, and so they had problems with that, and so at least to the first one, and so they had to make this one kind of like a requel where it's like a reboot, but it's a sequel and carries on the events of the first one. But it's also uh, covering the same events at certain points. And this movie is actually better than the first movie. First of all, everything I said about the first movie, all the creative filmmaking that Sam Raimi does, is on full display here. There's only a couple moments that I think really bug me with this movie, and when I say they really bug me, they're not that big of gripes. First one is when he's burying a dead body at the beginning of this movie. It's very obviously a mannequin and not really um, a dead body, but that's just kind of the nature of this movie. You just gotta go with it. But that's it. That's all I find wrong with this movie. Otherwise, it's a great movie. Bruce Campbell's full hamming it up in this movie. He's iconic in this movie. His chainsaw, his groovy, line. I mean, Bruce Campbell is so good in this movie, and this is the movie that built the Ash character that we continue to follow throughout the franchise. I mean, the first movie had him in there, but that is nothing to compare to what he is movie. He's full hamming it up. He knows in and out of his character within this movie, and it is excellent. It's so good. It's funny. It's original. It's smart. It's goofy. It's so good. And then you get the next part of this movie, which is that the humor here is just on point. This movie is more of a comedy than a straight horror movie. It's got great moments of both. There's a stop motion effect that is so good. It's beautifully animated. It's very goofy looking and it's kind of funny, but it's also really creepy and sticks in your mind. There's so many great moments like that in this movie that make this whole movie like that, and it's just a great time. This is one of the best horror comedies that has ever existed, and it's iconic. It's interesting, it's weird, it's wacky, it's bizarre, and it's just a great time. If you've never seen this movie, good God, you're missing out. This movie's awesome. If you like horror comedies, and just horror movies in general. I mean, this is one of the greatest of all time. It's just awesome. It's just an awesome movie. It's a weird cult movie, but it's just amazing. I don't know what else to say about it. It's freaking Evil Dead, man. If you don't like this movie, I don't know what's wrong with you because it's amazing.